For years, African Americans had been fighting for one thing, which was equality. However, it took them forever to get it, since someone or something else had to stop them. It wasn't until the 1960s when they finally got this. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Voting Rights Act of 1965 were finally passed.
Many years ago, African Americans were treated poorly due to their skin color. However, this changed when the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed, bringing more equality to those black people. In 1965, it was difficult for African Americans to vote, but when the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was passed, it made it much easier for African Americans to vote.
On July 2, 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signed the historic Civil Rights Act, prohibiting racial discrimination in employment and segregation in public places.
Throughout the struggle for equality and freedom, a central theme behind the civil rights movement came from Genesis 1:27. It affirms that all human beings are created in the image of God. Kevin L. Smith, Ph.D., and a Martin Luther King Jr. Fellow, wrote, "The Bible was central to the energy of the civil rights movement. Preachers and laypersons read from its pages. In public disputes, every day people quoted its promises and its truth regarding the dignity of all humanity, regardless of skin color."
When both acts were passed, it also brought more opportunities for African Americans when it came to education, as well as job opportunities. This image shows how African Americans would get together and protest in a nonviolent way in hope of getting the rights they felt they deserved. Even though it took years and cost the lives of many, African Americans eventually got what they wanted, which was equality and voting rights.